Is this one of the best entry-level G-Shocks out there? Honestly, I wasn't sure at first. I hesitated for weeks, wondering if this watch would really stand out among the G-Shocks I already own. But then one feature sealed the deal and made me pull the trigger. So let's dive into what makes the GA-010 such a standout G-Shock. When I first saw this watch, I had my doubts. It's big, bold, and let's face it, not the most versatile looking G-Shock. I wondered if I could really bring something new to the table compared to my other models. The stealthy DW-5600, the dressy GA-2100, or the ultra-tough GD-120. Would it just be another chunky watch I'd wear occasionally, or could it carve out its own space in my rotation? But once I got it on my hand, everything about this watch suddenly made sense. The GA-010 is unapologetically G-Shock in the best way. The carbon core guard structure gives it a lightweight yet rugged build. It's water resistant up to 200 meters and comes with a bright LED light. But what immediately impressed me was how functional the design is. Casio moved away from fake screws on the bezel, a decision that gives the GA-010 a clean industrial look that feels authentic. The bezel itself stands out with its bold, rugged design, and it's not trying to be anything other than a G-Shock. The guard bumper and the front light guard aren't there just for show. They're practical features that protect the watch during everyday use. And the big positive displays, it's one of its standout features and it's where the watch truly shines. The dual display setup combines bold analog hands with a crisp digital readout. The analog hands are large and luminescent, making them easy to read even in low light conditions. Opting for a positive display made the numbers bright, sharp, and legible at a glance. This is a massive improvement over some other G-Shock models like the GA-2100, where the negative display can be harder to read in certain light conditions. The watch packs a ton of information into the digital screen without feeling cluttered. You've got the time, day, and seconds counter prominently displayed, but it doesn't stop there. There's a world time function with 31 time zones, a 100-second stopwatch, a countdown timer, and up to 5 daily alarms. Plus, there's an auto calendar that pre-programmed until 2099. The big, easy-to-use buttons feel incredibly satisfying to press, and that fifth dedicated button for the light, that's the one feature that hooked me. It might sound like a small detail, but beside the overall design, it was the tipping point that sold me on the watch. It's so simple, but yet so smart. I don't know why doesn't every G-Shock have this. It's that kind of detail that makes you appreciate how well thought out this watch is. By the way, if you're liking this review so far, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. But here's where I think some people might run into trouble with this watch. The size. The GA-010 is undeniably big. It's 55.1mm long by 51.9mm wide, with a thickness of 17.5mm. But it wears surprisingly well on my 7-inch wrist. The strap is comfortable and the watch sits securely without feeling bulky. That said, if you have a smaller wrist, the watch might be a challenge. It's definitely not as slim or stealthy as something like the DW-5600 or the GA-2100. But here's the thing. This isn't a watch that's trying to blend in. It's bold, functional, and built to stand out. And once you embrace that, it's hard not to love it. So how does this G-Shock stack up against the rest of my collection? The GA100 has its charm, but its display can't compete with the crisp, positive display on the GA010. The GA2100, on the other hand, is more versatile and dressier, but it doesn't have the same rugged presence. And while I'll always have a soft spot for the DW5600, the GA010 feels like the perfect embodiment of what a G-Shock should really be. So why do I think the GA010 is the best entry-level G-Shock? First, the display technology. The positive displays are leagues ahead of models like the GA100, making it easier to read in all conditions. Second, the design choice. The unique bezel, guard bumper, and big buttons give it character without compromising functionality. And the fifth button for the light, absolute game changer for me. And finally, the durability of the carbon core guard and the 10-year battery life, which makes this watch a workhorse that just doesn't quit. So overall, the Casio G-Shock GA-010 is a true G-Shock done right. It's rugged, functional, and packed with thoughtful features that make it a joy to wear. And at around $120, it's an absolute steal. Sure, it might not work for smaller wrists and it's not the most versatile model out there, but if you want a watch that screams G-Shock and delivers on every promise, it's the one to beat. And as always, if you have any questions about this watch, let me know down in the comments and I'll get to you as soon as possible.